Tell on the face, I've been eating so much, I've been saying my grace. When the times was rough, I would look up and pray. Thank God I ain't have to smack a bowl my day. Fucking God. I ain't have to smack a bitch today. Yeah, smack a bitch today. Thank God I ain't have to smack a bitch today. Yeah, whoa, smack a bitch today. Thank God I ain't have to smack a bitch today. Smack a bitch today. Thank God I ain't have to smack a bitch today. Rolling up OG when I'm smoking my J. New car too fast, so I'm winning the race. Blast off fast car, cool breeze in your face. Don't hate on me, bitch, stay in your place. You rap about an Audi too much, because my Audi paid off, bitch, hush. Shut the fuck up. Why she be yelling so much? If I see you in the streets, bitch, your ass is done. I don't need your opinion. Do what I fucking want. You such a fucking chump. Pockets all swole lump sum. Damn, bitch, you a fucking bum. See you, your ass is done. Thank God, thank God I ain't had to spend that bitch today. Whoa, catch a case. Punch that bitch right in the face. Oh, hey. Yeah, sugar trap.
I've been running my mouth around the corner, chasing it down the street. Cashing my words like I'm a billionaire, but I don't have food to eat. And I keep talking like I'm taller than the trees, but my eyes never see much higher than 5 feet. And I keep on telling everyone the truth, but maybe that's not the move. And everyone wants to hear a strong opinion if it's the same as you. And they say honesty is the best policy. If that were true, don't think all of my friends would hate me. Society is sucking on your dick, and since I got a pussy, I'm a bitch. And since you are a dude, yeah, you can tell the truth, but as soon as I do, I'm a bitch. Society is sucking on your dick, and since I got a pussy, I'm a bitch. And since you are a dude, yeah, you can tell the truth, but as soon as I do, I'm a bitch. There was a time this guy, he tried to tell me men can cheat, women can't. Then he proceeded to ask me out on a date, and I fucking laughed. If you're a woman, you were made to pleasure me, but out in public, hide them shoulders underneath. Society is sucking on your dick, and since I got a pussy, I'm a bitch. And since you are a dude, yeah, you can tell the truth, but as soon as I do, I'm a bitch. Society is sucking on your dick, and since I got a pussy, I'm a bitch. And since you are a dude, yeah, you can tell the truth, but as soon as I do, I'm a bitch.
You hear me? We're gonna get this party started. Hey, yo, we have an announcement. We have to create space for our live streamers. So for folks that aren't here in person, streaming in, I need sound to work. Okay, so we have tents behind us. We've got a red tent. Oh, that's funny. And a white tent. So we want to make space. Maybe move to your left, move to your right. Excellent. Camera guys, are we good? Yeah. Okay, we are set, ready to rock, and I'm going to pass the mic back to our lovely organizers. Thanks so much for being here. Cue the tunes, Josh. Thank you so much.
Blood on my hands, what's done is done. Lifted by the road with the crows and the dust. Heart so hollow, deep as a cave. One day I'll be dancing on your grave, taking it back, the life you stole. Every little piece you took of my soul. Now I lay you down to sleep, and I pray with the devil you rest in peace. You can't hang your chains on me when you're 6 feet deep. This heart ain't yours to bleed. Now that yours no longer beats. Hallelujah, I'm over you, yeah. I buried you, oh Lord, you're dead to me. Rest in peace.
Hello? Okay, y'all, we're still waiting for a couple of people, but we thought, you know. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Why not take this time to practice our chants? Yay! Ah! Yes! Okay. So there's going to be 4 that we're going to be using on repeat today, all right? And you might get bored of it, but it's okay. We're here for a reason, and it's for them to hear us in there. So the first... Hello? Okay. The first one will go, I will say, I will call, abortion is our right, and y'all will say, we won't give up this fight. So, abortion is our right! Heck yeah, that's exactly the volume I wanted. All right, next one is, abortion is healthcare. And then you say, we want it now. Abortion is healthcare. Yes, okay. The next one is, we are unstoppable. And you will say, another world is possible. Isn't that so cute? All right. We are unstoppable. Yes. Okay. This is the last one. It's going to be really easy, and then we're going to take a little 5-minute break to wait for some folks to come up. But we're going to say, bands off. Y'all say, our boss. Yes. Bands off! Bands off! Bands off! Okay, I just wanted to see if we would all keep going, and I'm really excited about that. All right, sounds good. We're going to get started in about 3 to 5 minutes, so thank you so much. Dealing with the rain! Oh.
Rest in peace. Blood on my hands, what's done is done. Lifted by the road with the crows and the dust. Heart so hollow, deep as a cave. One day I'll be dancing on your grave, taking it back, the life you stole. Every little piece you took of my soul. Now I lay you down to sleep, and I pray with the devil you rest in peace. You can't hang your chains on me when you're 6 feet deep. This heart ain't yours to bleed. Now that yours no longer beats. Hallelujah, I'm over you, yeah. I buried you, oh Lord, you're dead to me. Rest in peace.
drop. Okay, before we get started, okay, a friend. Okay, it is working now. All right, cool. A friend of ours dropped their wallet, and as much as I personally would like it, I just want to give you the opportunity to come get it. Last name is Atkins. It's like a gold card, and it's a Tommy Hilfiger wallet. Wow, that's so nice. But in case you want it, it'll be up here. Okay, so we're going to get started. So, thank you, everyone, so much for coming today. Welcome, and thank you so much for enduring the rain for us. We really appreciate it. We are out here because our Supreme Court would definitely take our rights, rain or shine. So we're here to show them that we are here and we are going to be heard. Thank you all from the bottom of our heart for being here today. Thank you all for gathering in this space, and thank you for bringing our collective power, and thank you for showing up to fight for abortion rights and access in West Virginia. My name is Ixia Vega. I am the community organizer with Planned Parenthood Vote South Atlantic, and I will be your MC today. Before we get started today, I would just like to take a minute to acknowledge this moment that we're in. I want to acknowledge that this moment is devastating, difficult, and unprecedented. So whatever we are feeling in this moment, it's okay. If you are sad, exhausted, God, I know I am, raged, determined, confused, anything that is normal and appropriate. I'm just here to remind you to keep feeling. As long as we do not let our feelings stop and turn into apathy, we can't and we will not be silenced. The Supreme Court has given politicians the green light to strip us of our fundamental health right to make decisions about our own bodies. Boo! And I don't know about y'all, but I'm pissed and I'm ready to fight because we're not giving up anymore. Generations before us have fought tirelessly to gain and protect the rights that we have today, and we're not going to let their struggle go to waste. With this ruling, the next generation will have fewer rights unless we continue to fight on. It is in our hands now. We've already seen what these politicians have planned. Their ultimate goal is to pass a nationwide abortion ban that would block abortion access in every state of this country. But every person, no matter their zip code, race, income, gender, sexual orientation, must have control of their body and the freedom to make the decisions about their lives, their families, and their future. West Virginians deserve the ability to determine our own futures. Mountaineers deserve the opportunity to strive in the life that they want for themselves. Together, we are going to go hard to make sure that everyone has the care that they need to control their bodies and to build their futures. That means no politician, no bans, no judges should block our personal medical decisions. I know it's raining, but I want you all to take time to look around you really quick. Look at how many people we are surrounded by. And this is that a lot of people didn't show up for the rain, so I think this would be a bigger event. But we have the strength in numbers and in power to bring in this united voice. Together, we are going to hear from some incredible and, most importantly, powerful storytellers, because we know our strength is in our stories and in our experiences and our voices. I hope these folks will inspire y'all to also share your own stories, because the more we share, the more we break down stigma about abortion, and we cannot stop talking about abortion. After we hear from our storytellers and take some actions, we are going to march. Because we will be seen and we will be heard around this Capitol building. I want to remind folks that when we do march, please stay on the sidewalks. I'm going to say that again. Please, that's one of my only rules. Please stay on the sidewalks. I know we're a big crowd, but this is for everyone's safety. So, when we march, what are we going to do? I've always wanted to do that. Yes. Finally, before we start hearing from these amazing and courageous people, we're going to practice our chants one more time. And it's just going to be one, since we already, exercised a little bit earlier. But again, abortion is our right, and y'all will say, we won't give up this fight. All right? Cool. Abortion is our right. We won't give up this fight. Oh, I love that. Yes. Well, we'll just make sure that we'll just be really loud, y'all. So don't disappoint me. Another housekeeping item that I want to announce is that if folks need to use the bathroom, you can go onto the side of the Capitol building and go through inside the building. Please note that you will most likely have to, I think you do have to go through security. So make sure, yes, you have to go through security, so make sure that you don't have anything sharp or that would get taken away in security. Okay, everyone, let's do one really big round of applause for our storytellers on each side. All right, let's make sure we keep this energy up, and let's bring on our first storyteller, Miss Rita Ray.
Thanks so much for coming, everyone. It's so encouraging to see all of you. Here's my story. It's hard each time. I'm 80 years old, and I'm here to tell you what it was like before Roe versus Wade, well before medication abortions were available. Of course, thanks to these medications, I don't think we'll be going back to my experience, the medieval back alley and coat hanger days. That is, if the drug can be obtained, since access appears uncertain in so many states. In 1959, I became pregnant when I was in high school in Louisville, Kentucky. I immediately knew I had to find a way to end this pregnancy, even though abortions in Kentucky were illegal. The dysfunction in my family prevented me from telling my parents. For lack of a better word, I'll refer to the guy who got me pregnant as my boyfriend. He found a doctor in Indiana who performed illegal abortions. But when the doctor examined me, he turned me away, saying I was too far gone, and quickly dismissed me from the examining room. I didn't know how far along I was, but I must have been well past 15 weeks. My boyfriend and I then drove to Lexington, Kentucky, where he was in college, and we met the owner of a popular college bar, who put us in contact with someone who would perform the abortion. My boyfriend drove me to an alley that night after dark. I got out alone. I entered an upstairs apartment through a back door where a woman met me and directed me to lie down on a bed where she performed the procedure. I remember seeing a crucifix on her wall. After the procedure, I was told to go to a motel room and wait it out until I had expelled the fetus in the bathtub. It was a nightmare, a horrifying and extremely painful night. I survived this dangerous and terrifying experience, but many from that era did not, especially people and children of color. I never regretted this decision, certain that I had made a responsible choice. Nevertheless, the shame caused by this misogynistic and dangerous experience became embedded in my very being and haunts me to this day. But thanks to our collective voices and many of my dear friends here, I've been turning my shame into anger. History tells us that people have always terminated unwanted pregnancies, and yet the U.S. Supreme Court has shown total contempt for us by denying us a long-established right to this health care. Now, many of you younger folks will have to fight for your lives as my generation and those before did. The ACLU, West Virginia Free, Planned Parenthood, and the Women's Health Center are leading this fight, so let's give them all the support we can. Now I'm going to turn this over to one of those fabulous, committed young fighters, Ramsey Monk, the Development Director of the Women's Health Center.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ramsey Monk, and I'm the Development Director at the Women's Health Center of West Virginia. To begin, I don't know where to begin. I'm sure the last 2 weeks have felt like a living nightmare for everyone here, but I can't begin to express the devastation and outrage I've felt, my coworkers have felt, but most importantly, the hopelessness that the 60-plus abortion patients felt when we were forced to call them and cancel their appointments on the morning of June 24th, 2022. The overturning of Roe was something we all feared could happen. We've tried to prepare for this moment, but nothing can truly prepare you. Like you, I'm angry, heartbroken, confused about the future of my home state of West Virginia. I'm angry that the nation's highest court has bowed to the whims of the white supremacist forced birth movement. I am heartbroken that our lawmakers who pride themselves on family values can't seem to understand that when a person is denied an abortion, they are more likely to face eviction, file for bankruptcy, and be trapped in the cycle of domestic violence. I am confused that while West Virginia leads the nation in opioid overdoses, is home to what the CDC has called the most concerning HIV outbreak in the nation, and has more children in its foster care system per capita than any other state in the country, that our lawmakers are hell-bent on dismantling our basic human rights. We know banning abortion has nothing to do with life, safety, or children. This is about control. The politicians trying to control our bodies will always be able to get the abortions they need. This is about controlling people who are already marginalized. People of color, women, young people, rural people, LGBTQ plus folks, people with disabilities, and more. But let's get one thing clear. Pregnant people deserve better. Families deserve better, and you deserve better. SCOTUS has set the precedence that where you live dictates whether you can get an abortion. If we had different people in positions of power in our state government, our clinic could be providing abortions right now, and West Virginians wouldn't be forced to drive hundreds of miles away from their home for basic, essential, and safe health care. Now, more than ever before, it is important that we're turning our outrage into action. Over the last 2 weeks, we've received an outpouring of support from people asking what they can do to help at this moment. So here are a few things you can do. First, donate to abortion funds. There are 2 funds in West Virginia, our Clinic's Choice Fund and Holler Health Justice. We are helping West Virginians who are being forced to travel out of state for abortion, pay for their care, travel, lodging, and child care. Secondly, become a Women's Health Center patient. We've had to pause abortion care while we've been challenging the state's 1882 abortion ban, but we are still providing birth control, cancer screenings, emergency contraception, LARC, gender-affirming hormone therapy, STI testing and treatment, wellness exams, and more. If you become a patient, you're helping us keep our doors open while we continue to fight for abortion access. We accept Medicaid and most major insurance, plus we offer a sliding scale to uninsured people. Plus, we're always adding more services. Thirdly, exercise your right to vote. If you aren't a registered voter, please see one of these tables and we will get you registered today. Another way to support us is to uplift our messaging. Help us get accurate pro-abortion messages in front of more people who need to see it. Please, if you're not already, follow us and share our posts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Women's Health WV. This is not the end. There is a lifetime of work ahead of everyone here today. Our fight is just beginning. We will never go back. We will not let our legislature drag us back to the 19th century. Today we rally, tomorrow we rest, but Monday we get back to work. Thank you. It's now my honor to introduce a health center of West Virginia escorts, but most importantly, my friend, Jamie Miller.
Who's pissed off? My name is Jamie Miller, and I've told my story many times over the past 4 years. Today feels really different. It's really heavy. It's been really hard, and this is hard standing here. First of all, I would like to say that I'm happy to see everybody here to support each other. It's truly amazing. However, we cannot leave here today and fall into a state of mere existence, which would be so much easier to do right now. This is going to be really hard work. We must organize. We must turn our collective hurt into action. Roe is gone, so now it is time that we must fight for abortion access for everyone. In every city, in every holler, everywhere. No barriers, starting here, now, at home. No one should be gatekeeping who has access. Abortion is healthcare. Healthcare is a human right for all of us, not only women, but for men and non-binary folks as well. We are all in this together. My story is not an unfortunate, well, it is unfortunate, but it's not uncommon. When I was 16 years old, I was at a party and I was walking down the stairs and he was walking up. He got in front of me and shoulder checked me backwards, back up the stairs, pushed me into a room. I remember how quickly it happened and how quickly it was over. I did not try to stop it. I just let it happen, and he didn't even know my name. Weeks later, I bought a pregnancy test and went into the bathroom at the mall, when we had a mall. The line instantly turned pink, and I started crying just hysterically, and I remember just saying, "Oh God, help me. Help me." And I immediately heard a voice coming from the next stall, and she said, "You are going to be okay. You are not alone," and told me to call the Women's Health Center and they would help me. It was like an angel had stepped in. She wrote the number down on a piece of paper and passed it under the stall. I never saw her face, didn't know her name. She saved my life, and I am forever grateful. I called the clinic the very next day, and I made an appointment, and I've never been so grateful in my entire life as I was the day that I left that clinic. I have not once regretted that I made that choice. I also want to be clear that had I been pregnant under any other circumstances, I still would have made that same decision. Any reason for anyone's choice is a valid reason, and theirs alone. It took me 30 years to say aloud that I had had an abortion. It was like a light had been switched on when I heard Dr. Ford's testimony during the Kavanaugh hearings, and I woke up. And I just started talking and telling everybody, and I have not shut up. As I stand here today, it literally blows my mind that my 16-year-old self had more bodily autonomy than any of us here today that were born with a uterus. Abortion bans are racist, and they are classic. Make no mistake that this ruling has nothing to do with babies and everything to do with control. White cisgender people with money and power will always have access to abortion care. Black women and marginalized people will not and will be greatly affected by this ruling. I am sick that a law in the 1800s written by all white men before women and people of color could even vote is now considered a law in our state. For years, our lawmakers have been shoulder checking us all backwards and chipping away at our abortion access and many other human rights. They have pushed us into that room, and now we have to fight like hell to get out of it. We will not go back. Today, I urge you to tell your abortion stories and help break down the stigma and shame that comes with it. I promise it will set you free. I promise I will listen to you. I urge you to give to abortion funds, which are imperative right now, such as the Women's Health Center Care Choice Fund and Holler Health Justice. I urge you to call your legislators and demand that they stop this war on abortion, and I urge you to come to the Capitol with us and make some noise during special session. Let's make them uncomfortable. Most importantly, we have to take care of each other. We have to balance the weight of this. We are West Virginians, and we can do hard things. We will be heard. Our voices together can move these mountains and make changes needed to govern our own damn bodies and choose our paths. Thank you. Love you.
I'd like to introduce Lori Stark with the ACLU.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lori Stark. I'm Hello? Hello? Yeah, okay. I'm the legal director for the American Civil Liberties Union of West Virginia. Thank you all for coming out today. This is an amazing crowd. Hello, and it means I don't know what to do here. I don't want to take up too much time. We have some really amazing speakers, but I do want to talk a little bit about this lawsuit that we just filed and why it's important and what we're asking the courts to do here. So there's this law in the books, and we've already heard about it referenced here today. It's from the 1800s, right? So it's that old. And it's not only archaic, it's cruel. It completely criminalizes with a very exception for the life of the pregnant person. The statute itself is so broad, it's almost impossible to determine what conduct it criminalizes. And we've watched this legislature over the past several years pass restriction after restriction on abortion. And so the question is now, how can there be this law from the 1800s on the books that completely criminalizes abortion? How can that exist with these other restrictions that the legislature has passed over the last few years? A 20-week abortion ban, for example, a notification law. And that's what we're asking for, because what our argument is that these laws can't exist together. We believe that this statute from the 1800s is unenforceable. And it's not only important to our friends at the Women's Health Center, our amazing clients, including their staff. It's not just for them that we need that clarity so that they can provide much needed abortion care. It's West Virginian who needs access to abortion, who love for one of those people. And I think that's a lot of us. I've been asked to talk very briefly about what's in the executive order President Biden signed yesterday. There's a lot that remains unclear. What we know is that it doesn't protect abortion access in West Virginia. The administration is seeking to expand access to emergency contraception, long-acting contraception, and to use federal law to prevent the ban of certain medications. The administration can and should be doing more, but this makes it all the more important to emphasize that the fight for West Virginians starts here in West Virginia and is on the ground. The amazing speakers today are providing solid steps for action that each of us can take today and tomorrow and for every day after that. And I hope you join me in following their lead. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce another storyteller. Help me welcome Emily Black.
My name is Emily Black, and I'm a proud, lifelong West Virginian. I want to thank all the organizers of this event and all of you guys for coming today, especially in this weather. You're amazing. Just a bit about my story. After my husband and I got married in 2011, we decided we wanted to start trying for children. After a couple years of struggling, we had to turn to fertility meds, and after a couple of tries, we were lucky to find ourselves pregnant. After many ultrasounds, blood work, everything was looking perfect. Well into my second trimester, everything was good. At our 18-week anatomy scan, the joy ended when we found out that something was very wrong. After a second opinion with a fetal specialist, it was determined that our child had a plethora of medical conditions that were incompatible with life. She would pass away in utero or possibly live a few short minutes if we made it to term. We were given the option to terminate the pregnancy or continue until she passed. After consulting with our doctors, families, and most importantly each other, my husband and I decided that abortion was the right choice for our family. Putting off the inevitable would have been extremely harmful to me mentally and potentially physically. Looking back, if this had happened today and I were forced to continue that pregnancy, it would likely have cost me my job, as I would have needed multiple appointments weekly to check on the health of her and me. The mental toll that it would have taken on me to be forced to carry around a pregnancy that was doomed with, a big old belly telling people that my pregnancy was not a source for smiles and happiness. It would have ended me. I am grateful that I was able to have that choice, and because of that, I am happily married with 2 little boys now. I would not have been able I would not have been able to go on and live a happy life if I was forced to go through that. At 20 weeks, my labor was induced at the hospital, and I delivered her in the same manner that I would have if she were to have passed inside. I was able to make that choice on my terms and in a controlled environment before my health was in jeopardy. As we know, pregnancy in itself is not always safe. When you're carrying a baby that is fatally ill, it can become dangerous instantly. I am thankful that I was able to make that choice that was best for me. I cannot fathom how different my life would be today if that were not the case, and if I was forced out of the state, away from my family and away from my doctor. My experience has led me to a large community of families like my own who found themselves facing the worst possible imaginable news with their pregnancies. Our stories, diagnoses, and outcomes are all different, but we all made the choice based on what was best for us and with the information from our doctors, partners, family, and faith leaders. But the one thing that we all have in common is that not one of us sought the opinion of our lawmakers. Two weeks ago, our healthcare rights were taken away by a handful of unelected people positioned to a lifelong term by a president who did not even win the popular vote. We all know that this is not the will of the majority, not the will of West Virginians, and we must continue to fight for every person who seeks an abortion for every reason. My abortion story may be different than yours, but I am here to fight for every single one of us who deserves the right to control their health care. Thank you.
Before I bring on our next speaker, I just want to make sure we're still good chanting. So we're going to do like 3 more, all right? It's going to be, we are unstoppable, another world is possible, okay? We are unstoppable! We are unstoppable! We are unstoppable! Okay, so y'all ain't tired yet. All right. I would like to bring on our next speaker, Rose Winland.
Wow, you guys. I have a similar story, actually. And I want to warn you that this is going to start kind of somber, and it's going to end with rage. So bear with me. A human body is the most significant property. Sometimes the only property any of us ever really own and inhabit. The only space we truly own from the moment we take our first wailing breaths to the moment we emit our final exhalation. And we have an inalienable right to be secure in our persons, secure in the body and the mind we were born in. When I was 19 years old, I learned that I was pregnant. My boyfriend and I certainly weren't emotionally prepared to become parents, but I was raised Catholic, considered myself pro-life, and had a very supportive family. So there really was no question in my mind. I was about to become a mother. By the time I had my first ultrasound, I was excited to see the little figure on the monitor, but instead of sharing my excitement, the technician silently performed her task and left the room. A few minutes later, she came back and told me I was ready to go. Not really knowing what to expect, I didn't ask any questions. The next time I saw my doctor, she scheduled another ultrasound right away. It's nothing I can put my finger on, she said, but she wanted to keep a close eye on things. She told me everything was probably fine. At my second ultrasound, I asked the technician what she saw, and she told me that only my doctor could talk to me about it. Now, by then, other friends and family had started telling me their ultrasound visits, so I was starting to feel like something was amiss, but I went out and picked up a little bib and binky right after because I was emotionally invested. Now, right in there somewhere, I told my mother, and she had 6 of us, that I could feel the baby, and she just laughed at me and told me, "You probably have gas, honey." So I grabbed her hand and I put it on my belly, and she tore it away from me in shock. By about 20 weeks, I had my final ultrasound, and that's when the doctor finally told me that something was very wrong. She told me that they needed to do genetic testing right away, and the test confirmed the worst. Incompatible with life, they told me. Polyploidy wouldn't survive outside my body. The fetus was having massive seizures and was unusually large for its gestational age, which explained a lot. Now, normally a polyploidy pregnancy would spontaneously abort, but sometimes they don't. And by the time they made the diagnosis, I could no longer have a medical abortion due to the fact that I was over 20 weeks and the larger than normal size of the fetus. My only choices were to carry the pregnancy for as long as it survived or to have a forced labor abortion. They recommended a compassionate abortion, compassionate to the fetus, which was suffering seizures, and compassionate to me in saving me from weeks and possibly months of living with a pregnancy that would result in only misery and loss. So I put the bib and the binky in the back of the closet and chose the abortion. A horrific, painful, traumatizing, forced labor abortion. And it was a blessing. Because, a woman in the same situation today, right here in West Virginia, would be forced to continue that pregnancy. And doesn't it make you want to scream? Then scream with me. To those who want to co-opt our bodies in the name of religion, I say this: my body is my home. I don't accept your judgment or condemnation, not for myself or for any other person who has made the choices they made to protect themselves. And I will put anybody's living, breathing, struggling, suffering, worrying, hoping, striving, body and mind before forced birth every time. Those of us who have the only true bodily investment, the only true ownership of the property of our bodies, can morally make the choice to continue a pregnancy or not. So you folks who thump your Bibles and cry murder, I have contempt for you. You're using your vapid, emotional argument to thieve our sovereignty and compromise our security in our own bodies. No matter what the reason is that someone chooses an abortion, that's their business. I want to thank everyone here for showing up. I want to thank all the folks, Planned Parenthood, West Virginia Free, Holler Health Justice, the Women's Health Center, for the fantastic work that they do and the compassion that they offer people every day who deeply, deeply need that compassion. Thank you all for showing up. None of us know exactly what's coming next, but I can promise you one thing. I am never going to shut up about abortion. and neither should you.
I don't know about y'all, but I also needed that screaming session for a second, so thank you so much, Rose, for that. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Ash Orr.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ash. My pronouns are they, he. I am a trans, non-binary activist here in Appalachia. I have had an abortion. My abortion took place 10 years ago this coming Monday. Throughout the 16 weeks of my pregnancy, I felt incredibly ill and was deemed high risk, yet no one would offer me assistance. I was a young, closeted queer person living with an abusive now ex-spouse, barely scraping by, and having to come to terms with potentially dying in my early 20s in the name of our pro-life government. I was isolated, I was scared, I was suicidal, and I was living in constant fear for my life. Thankfully, Planned Parenthood took me in and provided me with a life-saving abortion. Had I been forced to continue on with that pregnancy, I would not be standing here today. So I started my period in 4th grade. I was 9 years old. At the age of 9, I now had pads jostling around in my book bag, alongside my markers and stuffed inside the pocket of my lunch pail. At 9 years old, I was running around with skinned knees and covered in bug bites. At 9 years old, I was reading books under my blankets at night when I should have been sleeping, quickly cramming them and my flashlight under my pillow when I heard my parents' footsteps. At 9, I was watching cartoons with my father on the weekends, eating sugary cereal in my Power Ranger pajamas. At 9 years old, I was a child. By the time I turned 10, I had been sexually assaulted 2 times. No one knew about the assaults other than myself and the individual who had assaulted me. The night after my last assault, I went straight to bed, and thankfully my parents assumed I was just tired from playing outside. The reality was, I was ashamed and I was scared. For days, I sat in my room, surrounded by my mother's pregnancy books that I had been sneaking out of her small library. At the age of 10, I was sitting cross-legged on my bed, checking my stomach to see if there was any swelling. Sorry. At the age of 10, I was filling my journal with fears of being pregnant and scared to tell my family what had happened to me. A few weeks after the last assault, I noticed I had not started my cycle. And while at this time I'd been having my cycle for nearly a year, I assumed my cycle was still irregular due to my young age. But I began to panic. I vividly remember opening my pocket-sized planner, flipping to the correct date, and seeing that I was nearly 2 weeks late. So quietly, I went into the bathroom and stole one of my mother's pregnancy tests that she kept under the sink. At the age of 10, I was now hiding in the bathroom and taking a pregnancy test. At the age of 10, a piece of plastic with a small test strip was going to determine my future. The moment that test turned negative, I knew that I had been spared, but it was time to tell my parents what had occurred. And at the age of 10, still covered in bug bites and sporting skinned knees, I was a child and a sexual assault survivor. Today, I am 32 years old. I am the survivor of multiple assaults. I have survived domestic abuse and violence. I have survived all of my worst days, even when I didn't think it was possible to keep pushing through. However, yesterday morning, I found myself in the bathroom panicking. I was experiencing the pain and bleeding that felt all too familiar to the pain and bleeding I'd experienced nearly 10 years ago. Rationally, I had to remind myself that I have an IUD, and while it is 99% effective, that 1% chance was beginning to eat away at me. Anxiously, I ordered a pregnancy test to be delivered to my door, and once I hit confirm order, I began to cry. What if I'm somehow pregnant again? What do I do now? Will I be arrested if I'm miscarrying? Will my spouse and I need to cross state lines? While waiting for my test to arrive, I reached out to a trusted network of friends, asking them how I could safely navigate getting gynecological care in the off chance I am pregnant. And thankfully, my tests were negative, and according to a trusted source, I'm likely just experiencing minor IUD irritation and stress. I can't imagine why I would be stressed. And now it is safe for me to go to the doctor. But once again, my fate was relying upon a piece of plastic with a test strip. How in the fuck is this acceptable? I am not up here to share my stories for pity, and I do not want to hear that I am brave. I do not want to hear that I have been strong. What I want is for y'all, elected officials included, to put yourselves in my shoes. I want you to imagine being a 10-year-old hiding in their bathroom and taking a pregnancy test. I want you to check in with yourself and acknowledge the discomfort and fear you are feeling when you put yourself in that position. And now I want you to imagine being a high-risk 32-year-old once again hiding in their fucking bathroom, taking a pregnancy test, terrified that your IUD has somehow failed, a sign that the clock was going to be ticking against you. Now I want you to try rationalizing how it is even remotely acceptable for a child who has survived sexual assault to carry a child. I want you to try justifying a high-risk person subjecting their physical and mental health once again in the name of a pro-life government. This is the reality for so many of us in this state and across this country, and it is absolutely unacceptable. So I know that as a white trans person, I have privilege. I have the privilege to be standing here alongside wonderful people to share my stories. I know that I have had the privilege to obtain an abortion across state lines, and I have had the privilege to be up here living my truth and to demand justice. The abortion ban in West Virginia imposes the burden of pregnancy, and with this burden will come shattered dreams, violence, and death. This never-ending attack on our bodily autonomy and reproductive rights is full of gendered euphemisms about women's health and women's bodies, narrowly framing abortion as a women's issue rather than addressing abortion and reproductive health care more broadly as the human rights issues that they are. The reality is that this ban will disproportionately impact our youth, our low income, queer, Black, brown, and indigenous peoples within our community. And let's get one thing clear, as it has been said, this is 100% about control, nothing else. When we put restrictions on this piece of healthcare, we are going to start putting restrictions on other pieces of healthcare. We must look at abortion as being healthcare because it is healthcare. And we know that the aforementioned communities face barriers accessing adequate and inclusive sexual and reproductive health care services, abortion included. And this ban is just the latest hurdle in making it exponentially more difficult. Again, our youth, low income, queer, Black, brown, and indigenous members of our community are now going to find it impossible to have a safe abortion here in West Virginia. They are going to have to start looking for out-of-state resources. And this just means more self-sourced abortions, more later abortions for those who can make it to safety, and in the long run in West Virginia, exacerbated mortality. Our policymakers' continued attacks on all this already difficult access to care are unacceptable. Again, sexual reproductive health care are services that are not only needed, but vital. Abortion care is a fundamental right, and it needs to be protected. Every single person standing here has a fundamental right to sexual and bodily autonomy, which includes the right to decide whether or when to become a parent the children we have, and to do so with dignity and free from violence and discrimination. To the politicians and policymakers who support these bans and the stripping away of bodily autonomy, know that your days in power are limited. We are stronger, we are smarter, and we are more resilient than you could ever hope to be. And hell hath no fury like Appalachians pissed off. So I am asking that everyone here today realize and understand that the government is not going to save us. We the people are going to save us. We, the people, have the power to hold our elected officials accountable. We, the people, have the power to demand change and justice. We, the people, have the power to invest in our communities, invest in mutual aid, and invest in one another. I'm going to conclude my speech with a quote from one of my favorite theorists, Murray Bookchin. Power to the people can only be put into practice when the power exercised by social elites is dissolved into the people. Each individual can then take control of his daily life. If power to the people means nothing more than power to the leaders of the people, then the people remain an undifferentiated, manipulatable mass as powerless after the revolution as they were before. In the last analysis, the people can never have power until they disappear as a people. So we, the people, have the power. Rise up and fight the fuck back. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Haley with West Virginia Free.
Hello, everyone. My name is Haley Gibson, and I am the outreach organizer for West Virginia Free. We're all here today because we have a couple things in common. You believe in abortion access. You believe in bodily autonomy. You have had an abortion or love someone who has had an abortion. Are you all as angry as I am to be here today? Good. Lucky for you, I know exactly who you can tell, your legislators. We have a QR code going around today. They're at tables. We have some canvassing, and we've made letting your legislators know easy. If you do the QR code, it'll pull up a link tree. From there, you can click Take Action, and it takes 20 seconds to fill out your name and your address and send your legislators a message. More on the link tree includes abortion funds, Abortion Finder, which finds clinics outside of the state of West Virginia. We have birth control options and where to find them in the state. We have a registration for this event. I know everyone's already here, but when you register, you will keep up to date with this movement and what's going on next. There is also an option to register to vote. Now, more than ever, is the time to use our voice in the election coming up. If you need help registering to vote, we have the ACLU over here helping folks. Now is the time to make your legislators know your name. We must remind them that they work for us. But we cannot stop here and today. If you go to the West Virginia Legislator website, you will find your representatives and their work phone, their work email, and their work address. You must call them, you must email them, and you must write them letters. Make them know your name and make them know that we will not stop until abortion is safe, legal, and accessible in the state of West Virginia. Please welcome the next speaker, Emily Hardin.
Hello. How are y'all doing? Living the nightmare? So, good afternoon. My name is Reverend Emily Hardin, and I have had an abortion. So I'm so grateful to the folks who asked me to come today and to speak to you, and to our other speakers, because this isn't the first time we've had to do this, and this won't be the last, I'm sure. But I asked myself, though, I said, is this still meaningful, and is this still important? Because when I first started telling people that I had had an abortion, I waited for someone else to say, me too. And I waited for so many years. And there were truly days when I felt like I was the only person that this had ever happened to. And it felt exactly like it had been designed to feel by politicians and conservative Christian folks. And I felt like I couldn't even talk to anyone, and even folks that maybe I could, the stigma was so strong that I never knew if I would be looked at differently. And that weighs on you. It weighed on me. And this is exactly what it is designed to do. It is secrecy and it is shame, and it is designed to keep us from one another. It keeps us from building together, and it is making sure that we live in a world where it seems like no one needs abortion care, so there's no reason to protect it. We are kept from seeing how common this experience really is. So telling your story and me telling mine and all of these folks up here telling theirs, it matters. Our coming together and our telling each other, me too, this happened to me too, and building the kind of world that we want to live in, this is the only thing that will save us. My story is this. I was pregnant and I did not want to be, so I had an elective abortion. And the details are probably only interesting to me. It was necessary and it was welcome, and I would have another abortion tomorrow if I needed to. Thank God for abortion. So when I have an opportunity to talk about it, I tell people that it was not the decision or even the procedure itself that was hard, but it was everything else. It is hard to get an appointment. It's hard to get to the appointment. It's hard to pay for it, and on and on. And you do this normally alone with only your new friends in the recovery room to chat with. It's hard to explain to everyone while you're feeling unwell for a while. It's hard to sit through the misinformation that the nurses have told you is legally required but not medically sound. It is hard to be encouraged to look at the ultrasound and be asked if you want to know if it was a single or multiple pregnancy. And it's hard to know that this is something that you may not be able to share freely, even if it has deeply impacted you. That it may not even be safe to share it freely. It is hard to hear your friends and your colleagues discuss abortion with the distance you no longer have and decide silently which ones you can no longer trust. And if you are, like I was and am even now, you wonder if your religious community will accept you. Because nobody is better at shame than religious people. I introduced myself as Reverend Emily at the start, and I am an ordained minister in the Presbyterian Church of the United States of America. And it has been some of the most important work of my life to continue to tell this story and to simply stand up next to others who have said, me too, and count myself as one of them. And many might tell you that I am the opposite of what a minister or a person of faith should be. I don't think that there are any of us that will go through life without being wounded by the Christian church as it exists in America. I consider the overturning of Roe v. Wade to be one of these injuries. And for those of us with a closer proximity to the church, and those of us who are there even now, know that our tradition, which has wounded so many of us by convincing us we didn't have rights to our own bodies, that this was an invention by human men who sought control and power instead of anything remotely resembling the gospel of Jesus Christ. And it is not everyone who needs to hear this, but it may be some of us. There is nothing more important for me as a minister that you know than that God loves you. I do too. That you know that you are beloved, you are precious, you are wise, and you are sacred. So sacred that your body is not up for debate or legislation. You belong to you. And I believe that I serve a God who thinks so too. In the Hebrew Bible of the story of Hagar and Ishmael, Hagar gives God a new name, El Roi, which translates to the God who sees me. And when I think about God in this context, this is who I think of. God who sees all these circumstances that would keep someone from being able to or wanting to continue a pregnancy. We are all seen and known in the complexity that is our lives, and we make the best choices that we can. And for those of you who subscribe to religious faith, let me assure you that this wisdom to make these choices is a gift from God themselves. So this is what we must do for one another. We must see each other. We must not hide in shame or in secrecy, because our power lies in being seen for who and for what we are. We must comfort and carry one another, and we must continue to tell our stories. Thank you.
Thank you all. Before I bring up our next speaker, I will ask this. We will march after this last speaker. Please make sure in this middle ground right here that you split up a little bit and you give our starting marchers some space. All right? Remember, stay on the sidewalks. Be safe. We appreciate you all. And without further ado, I will introduce my personal favorite West Virginia delegate. Really needs no introduction, but please help me in welcoming Delegate Danielle Walker.
Come on, we got a lot to say, and we're fed up and fired up. Come on, West Virginia, we're angry. Come on, West Virginia, it is our freedom on the line. My body, my fucking choice. I don't know what you came to do today, but I came to raise my voice with you on one accord. So let it not be a mistake. I am Delegate Danielle Walker. Let it not be a mistake. I am the vice chair of the West Virginia Democratic Party. And let it not be a mistake that I am a mother by fucking choice. So I'm going to need my king, and I'm going to need y'all to make a way for my king to come meet his mama up here on the steps of the damn people's house. Take your time. Take your time, because I'm going to take my time, because I got a lot to say. We got a lot of work to do. So I'm going to need you to do your job. I chose to give birth for two kings. This is Devin Michael Walker, my youngest king. June 24th, our freedoms were snatched from us. But on June 24th, I was blessed and chosen to be the late Demetri Mack Walker's mother. That was my late son's birthday, June 24th. And I love y'all too. And this is what this is about. One love. You see us unified today. As we were unified yesterday. And we're going to be unified for all the tomorrows. I am standing on the shoulders of giants. Those heroes and sheroes and theros. Because you know why? I support, respect the pronouns of she, her, he, him, they, and them. I respect the pronouns of she, her, he, him, they, and them. And there is no boo. I'm going to get wet today because we too far. I need you to know that I'm not a politician. I'm a peopletician because I put the people before the politics. Now you got the freedom of speech and we got the freedom to march, rally, and protest. And a few boos ain't gonna stop. A few boos is not gonna stop our fight for the right to abortion. Now, I don't know about you, but you call me an angry black woman. I'm not angry, I'm just fed up. I'm not racist, I love all. I am a member of the LGBTQIA plus community because I am queer. Oh yeah, we about to take our time in here today. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. And my story is my glory. So let me tell you about 1999. I delivered my first king in 1997. I was on bed rest 3 months into the pregnancy. I had preeclampsia. Only time I ever have seizures is when I'm pregnant. I stayed in that hospital bed laying on my left side for a month and a half. I delivered that baby by emergency C-section, coding 3 times. But God, because I am a woman of God. But God, he was a warrior just like his mother stands here today and is a warrior for the people. But God, he fought and I fought too. And because of our fight, I stand here before you today fighting for the right because we the people includes you and I. But he wasn't a well child. We lived 2.5 hours away from New Orleans. Payday loans, I took them out to make sure he had the care that he needed. So when I took on a second job and I thought it was just a sinus infection and passed out and had a hematoma, I went to the emergency room, and the first thing they did was took a urine, and my pregnancy test was positive. I took that second job to care for my firstborn. I took that second job to make a way out of no way. I took that second job so he can have everything that his heart desires. So being pregnant wasn't an option for me. I was already living with my grandmother, sharing one vehicle. I was doing what I had to do. Only state assistance I had was his Medicaid and receiving WIC. So I made a choice to be the best damn mama bear I could be by electing an abortion. And that was in 1999. Where's our clinic escorts? Put your hand up. Oh, I'm blessed. I'm better than blessed, because you know who my clinic escort was? My mother, who is a pastor, and her late husband, who was a reverend. And you know who sat in the back seat playing with his Tickle Me Elmo? My late son, Dimitri Mack Walker. So abortion is health care. Abortion affects a family. And I had a late-term abortion. That second day, I sat in a room in a recliner with a sheet over with about 35 patients. We were patients. We were not demons. We were not murderers. We were fucking patients. I didn't even have the money to pay for it. I had to put it on my mother's credit card until my income tax came, because I was a patient. Living in the richest country, but I still didn't have enough money to access health care, and we're still fighting that fight in 2022, and I was a patient. They didn't even call my name. They called us by a number. That don't sound like a boo to me, y'all. And this patient went into a room with a nurse and a physician. And this patient received health care. I stayed back in the room with the rest of the patients who had received that health care for an hour and 15 minutes. When I got outside, there were some folks out there who felt that we wasn't worthy of health care. Yeah, that. And there was someone dressed like Jesus, that's white Jesus that is, with a big old cross just yelling at me. And if you think I'm a spitfall now, you should have seen me back then in 1999. If you think I got something to say, I wasn't saved or sanctified in 1999. So as he was walking to me, I was walking to him. Because ain't no man born from a uterus of a JJ that I'm going to be scared of. There is no fear in my heart because there is no hate in my heart. And I looked at him and I told him, sir, if you don't get that cross out my face, I promise you I'm going to nail you to it. Sir, if you don't get that cross out of these patients' face, I'm telling you, I'm going to put it somewhere where they can't put their shit. And I seen my baby crying in the back seat, holding on to his Tickle Me Elmo. I seen my baby crying in the back seat because his mother chose the best option for our family, crying in the back seat. Baby, y'all need to hear that on this side. I seen my baby sitting in the back seat playing with his Tickle Me Elmo, crying. And what he asked me was, Mommy, why is Jesus yelling at you? And I said, it's an imposter. You know what you got in the people's house? Some imposters. You know what you need in the people's house? Some peopleticians. You know what you gotta do? Register to vote. I need you to register 5 people to vote. I need you to donate to Holler Health Justice and the Women's Health Center. I need you to get uncomfortable for all these moments to be part of the movement of change. Pain plus progress equals power, and we the people are power. Now I had a whole speech written. My team told me you don't need it. I was here early, 12:30 in my office, still going through mail because that's what a peopletician does. They answer the calls, they answer the texts, they answer the emails, and they show up and they show out for the people. And you know what y'all did today? Y'all showed up, and we gonna continue to show the fuck out. I cuss. Yes, I do. I work. Yes, I do. I'm a mother of the movement, so I take care of each and every one of y'all. Yes, I do. So I'm going to need y'all to get fed up. And I'm going to need y'all to get fired up. And I don't know why they sent me this garbage, but I'm not going to burn it. What we going to do, we going to recycle it today. So some folks is proud to say I'm endorsed by West Virginians for life. Well, I'm endorsed by Planned Motherfucking Parenthood. Take a picture of me, that's what I said. Planned Parenthood saved my life. The Women's Health Center have saved Mitten Mountaineers' lives. So I don't need a sharing the pro-life message. I don't want it. Because you're not pro-life, you're pro-birth. And because of that choice, we have King Devin Michael Walker. See me, hear me, respect me, love me, protect me, vote for me, get registered to vote, volunteer with a campaign, make those donations. Next Saturday, we need y'all all in Huntington from 3 to 6. See, I'm just not going to tell you to vote. I need you to know who the hell to vote for. So if you a candidate in West by God, Virginia, come meet me on the damn steps. These are your accomplices because we ain't doing allies no more. I love you. These are your accomplices. We not doing allies no more. This is how you share a platform. Where's my Pushkin? Come on, Pushkin, you ain't gonna melt in the rain. Yes! Come on, Chairman Pushkin! Yes! I need you to see us. I need you to know our names. And I need you to start giving some pink slips in November because that is your Freedom Day. Y'all not in a rush. I'm not in a rush either. Tell me your name and what you're running for and what district.
Lacey Watson, running for Congress, 1st District, West Virginia.
Y'all better give it up for Lacey Watson, because we don't want Carol Miller.
Chuck Connor, Rowan County, District 15, running for House of Delegates.
Joanna Vance, House of Delegates, District 43.
Y'all see them do their work?
Hi guys, I'm Tiffany Clemens and I'm running for State Senate in District 6.
See, we gonna have some power in the people's house.
Heather Hill, Greenbrier County, District 47, against Todd Longacre.
Get him out! Donate to this campaign! Volunteer! I don't care if you don't live in the district.
Diana Strickland, I'll be running against Dana Farrell in Sissonville.
Y'all heard it.
Allie Lehman, House of Delegates, running in the new District 24.
Susan Buxer Lahaki, running for U.S. Congress in the 2nd District here in West Virginia, as a write-in. Sadly, you have to write me in, but I'll be going over how to write me in when the time comes.
Oh! Eddie Clinic Escort! This is gonna be my office mate! We claiming it today! This is gonna be my office mate!
My name is Rusty Williams. I'm running for the House of Delegates in the 59th District. And when it comes to tearing down these systems of oppression and standing with your right to make the healthcare decisions that are best for you, I'm not an ally. I'm an accomplice. If you know people from Nitro or Cross Lanes, tell them to check out rustywilliamswv.com. I need your support.
Come on, y'all know who this is. The baddest fucking taxi driver in West by God, Virginia. Y'all know who this is. The chairman of the West Virginia Democratic Party.
I love Danielle Walker. I share your love for Danielle Walker. Madam Vice Chair of the West Virginia Democratic Party, I'm Mike Pushkin. I'm running for re-election for the House of Delegates in this district. Thank you. Love you.
Are y'all ready? I need you to look at your neighbor and say, neighbor. Come on, I need you to look at your neighbor and say, neighbor. Tag you in. It's time for us to do our job. Y'all ready to march? Y'all ready to chant? Y'all ready to turn the House and the Senate in West Virginia around? Y'all ready to register to vote? Y'all ready to hit the streets?
It's going to be a little quiet, so you have to listen up. Someone bring me a megaphone.
The battery out. The battery out. Hold on. And we live. What was the request? Can y'all hear me? Stay on the sidewalk. All right, who walking with me? Son, where you at? Right here on my right. You can take that umbrella away. We ain't going to even. Oh, Lord, I can't take this people microphone.
Somebody? Anybody?
These folks are going to be leading. Follow right after. Give yourselves some space. Don't overcrowd yourselves and have fun.
There's like an issue with the megaphone.
Hey. I don't fucking know. My body! My body! My body! Hey, motherfuckers. Give me the mic. My body! 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 My choice! My body! Choice! My body! My choice! My body! My choice! My body! My choice! My body! My choice! Which one? Abortion is health care! We want it now! 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 Abortion is our right! We won't give up the fight! Abortion is our right! We won't give up this fight! Abortion is our right! We won't give up this fight! Abortion is our right! We won't give up this fight! Abortion is our right! Abortion is our right! We won't give up this fight! Abortion is our right! We won't give up this fight! Bands off! 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 Abortion is our right! 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 Abortion is right! Abortion is our right! Abortion is health care! Abortion is health care! We want it now! Abortion is health care! 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 Bands off! 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 Okay. Bands off! Bands off! Bands off! Abortion is our right! We won't give up this fight! Abortion is our right! 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 Abortion is our right!
Abortion is health care. Sorry, that is trash. Abortion is health care. Bands off. Bands off. Bands off. Bands off. Bands off. Abortion is all right. 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 Bands off. Bands off. Bands off. Bands off. Bands off. Abortion is all right. 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 Son of a bitch, bro. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. Bands off. Bands off. Bands off. Bands off. Bands off. Bands off. Abortion is all right. Abortion is all right. Abortion is all right. Abortion is all right. Oh my God. Bands off. 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 We are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. Abortion is all right. 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 Every single time I start one, an ant starts crawling up my hot mic. Bands off. 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 Oh my God. Abortion is all right. Abortion is all right. Abortion is all right.
Abortion is our right. Abortion is our right.